Hi. Hi, I'm Ashley Share from ShareLove.Fund, and today we'll do meditation number 11. I brought a flower with me. You don't need anything to meditate. That's the beauty of meditation, but because I'm in a beautiful nature environment, I just wanted to share some of the nature with you today. So we'll have this flower. And we're going to work this meditation if you want to find it on your own later. It's in the course materials. You can find it in Handout 4B, which is the meditation kit. And in Handout 4B, it's the last meditation, number 11. Meditation number 11 is called Stopping and Being Present. Before we start, just find a comfortable seated position. I recommend having your palms down because I think this is a great opportunity to really focus inward and be in touch with your own self. But there's no right or wrong way to meditate. You can have your palms up or however you like. You can be laying down. You could be sitting at the edge of your bed, or like we talked about before in meditation number 3, the walking meditation, instead of focusing on your breath, you could be focusing on your footsteps and walking as a meditation. So there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just presenting some things that have worked for me, and maybe those things will work for you, or maybe you'll take some of the ideas presented and you'll change them into something that works specifically for you. So these are just like tools, and then you can kind of take the fact that somebody cares about you and use the information that serves you and modify it as you need to. Okay, so we'll start. We'll keep the back straight. It's important to have the spine straight. Stopping and being present. Guide. The goal of these meditations is to get to know our minds better, to cultivate insight and peace, to become calmer and more focused. I'll punctuate each meditation with a clap of the hands. In some places, they will use a bell to chime, but nobody can take away your breath and nobody can take away your hands. So if you're meditating as a group, maybe somebody with a watch is designated to just clap their hands at the end, and then that tells you that the meditation is over, so that way you can really lose yourself in it and get so focused on your breath and not think about the time. All you need to do is follow the instructions. Let's get started. So now to get started, I'm going to clap my hands sort of as a signal that we're going to start. People think of meditation as some kind of special activity, but this is not exactly correct. Meditation is simply itself, just like a focus on our breath. As a joke, sometimes people say, don't just do something, sit there. It's a joke because it's kind of the opposite of what we say at other times, like don't just sit there, do something. But for those of us who have gotten ourselves into a little bit of a mess, we've usually gotten into that mess because of impulsiveness and because of quick reactions instead of responses. And so sometimes us getting up and doing something has kind of gotten us in trouble a little bit. And now that we're in a little bit of trouble, the best way to get out of it is actually to sit still and focus on our breath and reflect and try to make a better decision through being still instead of just running to the next thing. Meditation is not just sitting there. It's not just doing nothing. It's about stopping and being present. That's all. Try to stop and be present for 1 minute. And we're going to do this together. You can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your chest. We're just going to stop and be present for a minute. I'm going to turn my back and really just focus on the nature for this minute. Most people think of meditation as some kind of special activity, but this is not exactly correct. Meditation is simply itself. Mostly we're running around doing. Are you able to stop and come into your life even for 1 moment? Just pause and ask, why am I doing this? Usually it's always what's next. I'm hungry, I'm this, I'm that. I should be doing this, or I'm thinking about that, or I'm reliving this event that happened in my head. But are we ever just observing? Meditation is about observing your life. Are you able to come to a stop in your life, even for 1 moment? Could it be this moment? What would happen if you did? Now, one of the scary things I found when I meditated is I realized that I was keeping so busy because some of the thoughts were too painful to think about. But the thing is we can't heal from something if we don't do the work to face it. So there's really no escape. We're going to deal with those thoughts now or later. And if we deal with it sooner, then maybe we can have peace for the rest of our lives and come to peace with those thoughts. A good way to stop all this doing is to shift into being mode for a moment. Think of yourself as an eternal witness, as timeless. Just watch this moment without trying to change it at all. Like this moment right now. What if we just watch it? What is happening? What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? We're opening up our senses. Instead of our mind thinking, what's next, what's next? We're just opening our senses to this very moment. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Is it a little bit relaxing to just be in the moment and not judge the moment not value the moment. Like, this sucks that I'm here. What if we just don't even put a value on it? What if we just let go of all of that and just give ourselves a break and just allow ourselves to say, we are here. No judgment, no thought. I'm here right now. We're here. Let's meditate this way for a few minutes. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to focus on being here. The funny thing about stopping is that as soon as you do it, you are here. Things get simpler in some ways. It's as if you died and the world continued on. If you did die, all your responsibilities and obligations would immediately evaporate. Their residue would somehow get worked out without you. No one else can take over your unique agenda. It would die or peter out with you, just as it has for everyone else who has died before us. So you don't need to worry about it in an absolute way. By taking a few moments to die on purpose, and please, nobody take this literally. This is just like a metaphor for people who put so much pressure on themselves, like having to solve all the problems, like, oh my gosh, my kids, what do I do? I'm not there to protect them. Well, the thing is, if you make yourself sick over it and you give yourself a heart attack, you also won't be there to protect them. Like, this is a reminder that everything that we worry about only matters because we're alive. So we can't let the things we worry about make us sick, because then we won't be alive to fix the things we're worried about. So this says, like, take a few moments to quote unquote die on purpose. It's not literal. This is just saying, this is just recognizing our own mortality. To the rush of time while you are still living, you free yourself to have time for the present. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is, when you know that all the problems you face only exist because you're alive to worry about them, then it sort of puts a perspective like, you weren't meant to solve all the problems. And if you make yourself sick over it, then you're not going to be able to solve it either. So it's just like sort of a way to give yourself a break and just tell yourself, you know, one step at a time, and just do the best you can. Try stopping, sitting down, and becoming aware of your breath once in a while throughout the day. It can be for 3 minutes, or it could be for 5 seconds. Just like as you go about your day, maybe just stop and just try to be present without judgment. Let's go into full acceptance of the present moment, including how you are feeling and what you perceive to be happening. For these moments, don't try to change anything at all. Just breathe and let go. Breathe and let be. That concludes our meditations from Handout 4B. Namaste. Let the light in me be the light in you. Have a blessed day, and thank you for your time.